Good morrow, everyone. This is CedLove with his Devil's Advocate podcast. Hope you're having a good new year. If not, hope next year goes better. That's just how the catchphrase goes. As just mentioned, it is 2023. We're in a new year. Hope you all had a good holiday, Christmas, Kwanzaa. Hope you had a good new year. If you was out and about, hope you were safe. Hope you made some memories. If you stayed in like I did, it was beautiful. Oh my God. Didn't have to deal with crowds. Didn't have to deal with the weather. Countdown, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Waited maybe like 10, 15 minutes. Took my butt to bed. I regret nothing. I'm not saying I don't celebrate New Year's. I'm just saying. This year, I probably got y'all next year. But this year, no one feeling. I enjoyed my cozy bed. It was all Gucci. But unfortunately, for the first podcast of 2023, we're gonna, start on a little sad note, a little somber note. Y'all really don't know when I actually record my podcast, and at this point, I really don't have a schedule. I would like to do them kind of as soon as possible throughout the week, but then I realized I could do it on Saturdays. But then sometimes on Saturdays, I got things to do, so I can't really wake up, record, edit, and then upload Sunday because I got things to do on Saturday. So right now, it's still middle of the week, but enough has happened for this week and technically last week, but this week for me to actually have a topic for this podcast. So again, it's going to be a little somber at the beginning. I'm going to end it on a 2-degree funny note. Apologies if you think I shouldn't do that, but I figured don't talk about something sad and then just end sad. Let's talk about life. It's going to go sad, then we'll go like a little funny, you know what I'm saying? So, sad note. Sports, specifically football. Just from what I just said, I feel like a good couple of y'all know what I'm going to talk about. Also, it's in the title, so you know what I'm talking about. This past Monday, Bengals versus Bills, an individual, his name is Damar Hamlin, went for a routine tackle. He went for the tackle. He stood up. Everything's all kosher. He fell backwards. Man had a cardiac arrest. I'm just going to jump straight to it right there. He basically had a heart attack on the football field. Now, there's a lot of stuff I can say about this. When I say a lot, it just so much has happened since Monday. And it's just kind of hard to write in order how I should talk about this. But let's just say Monday was an interesting night, and Tuesday, Wednesday have been some interesting days. So I'm just going to start off from my point of view first. So from my experience, when this all happened, what went down? Me, I don't really watch football really at the end of the season just because my favorite team is Carolina Panthers. They were officially eliminated from playoff contention this past Sunday. So Monday, I don't think I was looking at basketball. I don't think I was looking at basketball. I don't think it was on TV, but I was looking at something. But I just was just on my phone checking the score of the football game. And when I saw the football game was delayed, I was like, oh, what's going on? But instead of turning to the game, I went to Twitter. So, you go to Twitter, which basically is a good source of information basically for a lot of stuff. Go to Twitter, and I basically see that everybody's, freaking out because of this individual player, again, Damar Hamlin, injured on the field. Not like broken leg, but, heart attack. So me, when I initially saw the replay, again, didn't read nothing because I just looked at videos, looked at my fiance, said, hey, babe, I think somebody died on the football field. I said it very so nonchalantly because I watch sports way too much that, yes, in sports, people have died in the field. It has happened before in, times in the past. But, you just don't want to always jump to death. Like in a joking way, you can oh my God, he got hit so hard, he's sitting to hell. You say stuff like that because you just say stuff like that. But when I saw the dude fall and I made that joke, I'm like, hey, I think he died. I just really thought, he passed out or, he just got the wind knocked out of him. So, of course, later on, when you find out the true blue circumstances of his cardiac arrest, oh, snap, he legitimately almost died. And, they basically gave him CPR for 10 whole minutes. So, he probably did die on the football field. And I feel like would it be ethical to tell the people of the world this man legitimately died on the field for, let's say, I'm just, speculating. This is all speculation. Would it be something they would say to the world? Yeah, he died for 3 minutes. We brought him back, but for the next 7 minutes, we just kept giving him CPR. Because it's a combination you don't want to tell people a man actually died unless, he gave permission. To football's a business, so maybe football's A, even though he died, let's just keep this under wraps a little bit. Or 3, maybe the doctor just didn't want to just put that in the world of A. You technically died. We brought you back, took you to the hospital, just keep you. I'm just going on speculation of everything that transpired. So I told you, when he fell, made a joke, found out later, ooh, snap, don't joke about this. Found out later seriousness of it, and at this point, all right, this is like a serious thing. So that was just me. So my first interaction with it, make a joke, oh, snap, not a joke, this is a serious thing, hopefully the man's good. Don't follow it super closely because, it's pretty sad. But, through the grapevines throughout the night, certain posts, certain Twitter, stuff like that, maybe get some little checks up on there. But, hey, hopefully he's good. Again, that was my interaction. Everybody else's interaction on Twitter was basically like, cancel the game. Cancel the game. Why is the game not canceled? Why are we trying to postpone it? Cancel the game. Cancel the game. It was so extreme that for some strange reason, everybody just swore up and down they're right. I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. But these people who are at home and they're just adamant, and I mean adamant, cancel the game. It's like, it can't just be as simple as cancel the game. Like, yes, the players on the field, if they choose not to play, bravo to them. We support you all the way. The coaches, if they refuse to coach, bravo to them. Referees refuse to ref. Like, everybody on the field has a right to be like, we either don't want to play or we want to play. People at home, it's your opinion, which is whatever, but just like, the way we were just like saying it's an absolute done deal, they should not play, it's kind of unfair to a degree. It's like, I get where you're coming from, but you're, again, speculating on how the players are feeling. Because everybody's saying, there's no way the players will want to play after that. But you don't know. As I said, there's like a lot of circumstances with this. Like, I'm going to get into this, but a certain individual named Skip Bayless, which I want to say right now, I don't think Skip is in wrong totality. I just think the phrasing of his tweet could have been, changed a little. But I don't think he was in wrong. But I'm going to get into that in a minute. But basically somebody like him brought up, just like a lot of people thought, football is very important in America. At a certain point, we get to a thing called playoffs. And playoffs are determined on your record throughout the regular season. We are currently in the regular season. We legitimately have 2 more games, at that time, but what's called 2 more games left in the season. And this game is important. This game will literally determine your seeding in the playoffs. So again, my point is, when people say automatically cancel the game, it's like, again, you can, but the factor of like, all right, we care about Damar Hamlin, we'll make sure he's safe and all that. But once we confirmed he's safe and, knock on wood, he's not safe. Again, just being fair on the podcast. Again, if he's not okay, cool. What do you do for the playoffs? And I think that was just like some people went straight to Damar Hamlin. Some people went to Damar Hamlin playoffs. Some people, let's just be honest, they're just jerks. They went straight to football. It's just like, there was so many emotions going on. I think the anger of the football not making an immediate decision just basically just like blame NFL. Blame NFL for everything. Like, it's y'all fault he's injured. It's y'all fault everybody else injured. It's y'all, like, why are y'all not making a decision to cancel? It's just so much stuff is going on. Again, me, an individual, 31 years old, who live in Georgia, man, I wouldn't want those type of decisions because that was a lot. That was a lot. So I'm just saying. People with their fast fingers just saying cancel the game, cancel the game, cancel the game, can't believe you cancel the game. It's like, you're not in this situation. You think it's that simple, but it's not. Like, one thing I think about, I feel like they would still pay them, but there are, certain entities like, all right, there was no game on Monday. We got the players, the referees, coaches. We got commercials for advertisements. We got all these things that make this business. If the game is 100% canceled, certain people losing out on money. Now, obviously, you ain't finna, see, you can't say that. You cannot say, oh, somebody finna lose money, but they don't lose one paycheck to be fine. Some people might be paycheck to paycheck. Like, what happened on Monday, there's a potential somebody lost a paycheck that probably affect them for life. Again, not defending NFL, not defending people on Twitter. I'm just saying, there's so many factors that go into, yes, Damar Hamlin, we are praying for him. Hopefully he's good. Once he was carted off the field, the players, do you want to play? If all the players decided to play, will we have looked at them badly? I don't think we would have. If they all say no, which they did, do we look at them badly? No. There's just so many things going on, and just this situation, because it involves somebody's life, is kind of hard because no matter what in the world, there are 2 reactions. It's really 3, but the third one I don't count. The first reaction, the immediate, like you literally see a title, you see a video, you see something, whatever you feel at the moment, that's what you feel. You feel something, don't let somebody tell you wrong. That is what you felt. You see a baby get slapped by his mama, feel anger. Or, if you're a mama, yes, that baby deserves it. Whatever you feel, that's what you feel. Don't let nobody tell you how to feel for your initial reaction to anything. So again, the people who just yelling at the NFL saying cancel the game, I'm not mad at them. I'm just saying, hey, at a certain point, take a beat, pull it back. Just saying. An hour later, a day later, it hasn't been a week, so you can't really say right now a week later. But a week later, how are you reacting? If you're dead set on how you felt the first time, hey, to each his own. Good for you. If you kind of changed a little, again, like this is not a right or wrong type of podcast. This is really not. I'm just like, this is really hard to talk about. Because, as I said, I'm a Devil's Advocate podcast. I have opinions on a lot of stuff that, it's not that I disagree with people, just I see things just in my way. And I think I'm going to go like this. Damar Hamlin, injured on the field, stopped the game at the moment as he's carted off. Simply asks players, coaches, do you want to continue? They say no, done with that. What they going to do about a future game? Personally, I told you they got technically 2 more weeks left. I would say this coming up weekend, play the games as normal, but then the week after that is technically supposed to be the start of the wild card. Real talk, just don't have the wild card. This game right here that's supposed to be playing, I would say, or what's supposed to be played, I would say just have them play it. So basically, push the wild card back a week so this team can replay. It'll literally be the only team that play on a Saturday so they can actually have a full week for rest. Cool like that. Cool. People on Twitter who are just clamoring at NFL, you got the Fifth Amendment. You can say it if you want. I would just say after that night, kind of just chill. Anything after Monday night, stop complaining to the NFL about whether they went fast enough or slow enough. They did what they thought was appropriate. Simple. That's my opinion on that situation. Okay? And again, pray for Damar Hamlin. I really do pray for him. Now, told you, I'm going to briefly talk about this just because he's kind of a big part of my life. We had a dude named Skip Bayless. He had a series of tweets just because when it comes to sports, the man loves sports. The man breathes sports in and out. This is what he does. But when it comes to tweets, the man will tweet anything. When I say anything, not like he's a jerk. He just won't call, and I'm gonna just say he's a white guy. He just won't call people the N-word. He won't talk about your social standing or maybe your intelligence. He won't do none of that. But he will still say some stuff that you're Skip, I can't believe you said some stuff like that. Real talk, I just can't believe you said some stuff like that. So, from this incident that happened on Monday, he was trending the most, not just on Twitter, but just the social media in general. Just because, again, he's a big guy. When it comes to sports, people don't listen because they actually care what he say. They just know when Skip says something, it's just either he says something really stupid or he says something so funny that it's still stupid. So it catch you off guard sometimes when he says stuff. So, for Skip, and I will defend him to a degree on this, he tweeted about the incident with Damar Hamlin. And as I said, he's a tweeter, as he tweets constantly. It's not just he one tweets and then it's done. So he tweeted something, maybe 3 to 4 things. Tweet about the game, tweet about the game, tweet about the injury, tweet about the injury. Then he tweeted something that made everybody a little bit uncomfortable. And I told you, as I said, you got 2 reactions. Your very initial reaction, and then later on in life, an hour later, a week later, something like that, your reaction. So his tweet, and I quote, because Skip refused to take it off Twitter, which, hey, did you know? He said, "No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of the game, but how? This late in the season, a game is this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which is suddenly seems so irrelevant." So we're going to try to break it down just a little bit of this tweet. He's saying, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of the game, but how? So he's basically saying, and I want to point out, even if you don't want to listen to my podcast right now, go to his Twitter. He explains it. He even talked about it on the show, which Undisputed, 9:30 Eastern time with Shannon Sharp. He talks about it. So if you don't want to listen to me, you can go listen to him. He explains it himself. But for me, when he said no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of the game, but how? Again, a person who's breathing sports, he gets paid $10 million a year to talk about sports, maybe $15 million. He gets paid a lot of money just to talk about sports. He's still considering hey, yeah, this is a very serious situation. So while we are dealing with Damar Hamlin right now, he's just kind of curious. NFL, while you're handling this individual who's in critical condition, are you considering what to do about the current, game? Yes, the goal for Damar, get him to the hospital and get him all the medical, Damar Hamlin, get him all the medical assistance he needs. But during or after that, what are you going to do about the game? So he's just like, just a valid question. And as I said, it just wouldn't need to be asked right now. One day, maybe tomorrow, maybe the after, but at the moment, not necessary. Then he said this late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which again, is correct. So again, this is more of a piggyback off the first sentence. This game is important. As I said, the regular season affects the playoffs. So again, he is correct in his statement. This game is, will affect truly the playoffs. But then he gets to the last part, which I feel like everybody just ignored. What I said, if you have 3 sentences in a statement, first 2 sentences are kind of extreme. The third sentence kind of like overlooked. It just happens. It happens. But you still got to pay attention to the third sentence if it's there. So his third sentence says, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. So he's basically saying, NFL, yes, we're worried about Damar, but just kind of curious how it's going to affect, the rest of the season. Now, right now, it's really irrelevant of what you're trying to do about it. But, at a certain point, just, kind of curious. Just like, basically, like, how did this affect so many things down the road? And yeah, we all say it's irrelevant. And at the end of the day, man's life is more important. So it is irrelevant, but it's going to come back up. Like, this is how I know it's not irrelevant. And yes, I did a double negative, not irrelevant. Because they're going to continue to play football. They're going to play football next week. They're going to play football after that. They're going to play all of the Super Bowl so people can get their money. Like, it's going to happen. So, it's not irrelevant. But unfortunately, Skip Bayless, your text just came at a wrong time. And honestly, as I said, it came at a wrong time. And the first 2 sentences just didn't seem right. Like, if he really wanted to, like, rewrite it, which, again, he's not. In a way, I kind of respect Skip on that because he's standing his ground. Because he know what he said. And he kind of apologized on TV. He basically said, I apologize, it was misconstrued. Which is basically what I said, I'm sorry if you read it wrong. Let's just be honest, that's what it was like. But he know who he is. The man is 65 going on 70. At this point, the man don't care. And again, I'm not hating on Skip. Not hating on Skip, just letting you know. I know I've been watching the man for 10 years at this point. The man, I know who the man is. If he had said, at this point, the rest of the game and possibly the playoff brackets seem so irrelevant, but he is curious how it will be handled now after Damar's situation is handled. If he had said something like that, I feel like people will little be better. Because he basically stated, rest of the playoffs in season are irrelevant until we make sure Damar's okay. But because he put it at the very back, people kind of lost the ish. So, as I said, Skip basically tried to explain it later with his tweet, because he tweeted after this, and he tried to explain on his show the next day. So, it was Monday when it happened, so he tried to explain on the show Tuesday. He has a co-host named Shannon Sharp. Shannon did not show up that day. There's a lot of speculation on why he didn't show up, but at this point, we kind of, sorry if I say this. Shannon Sharp is a former football player. So, there was a lot of speculation on why he didn't show up. So, right now, we're basically saying, Shannon Sharp, who was a football player, he basically just saw another individual who was in critical condition on the football field. It most likely affected him badly. He called into his boss, hey, I don't think I can come in tomorrow, yada, yada. So that's what most people were speculating. Other people speculated he was probably mad at Skip because, again, Skip tweet. A lot of speculation. Again, I will say this. Shannon tried to explain it fully on TV why he was out. Unfortunately, Skip Bayless kind of cut him off, and man, that was awkward. That was an awkward situation. I felt, that's like when you're a child and your parents or somebody of adult figure are arguing and you don't know, like, should I say something? Should I not? Should I leave the room? It's like, it was bad. It was bad. And now, again, because of, social media world, we're all like, oh, is Shannon going to quit? Is he going to leave? He finally fed up with Skip. And then other people are saying, oh, that was fake. All of that was fake. That was just a stunt to get the ratings. It's like, that's a man in the hospital. Like, why are we doing this? Like, that, I will say this. When Shannon was trying to talk and Skip kind of interrupted him, Shannon was like, I'm done talking. And, they have a MC, a person who basically keeps them on track. He was like, I'm done talking. MC, keep going. Like, says, you don't want me to talk, we're just going to keep it going. The show's going as normal, cool. So, Shannon, he was mad, but he's trying to stay professional. He wanted to cuss out Skip badly. Anyway, yes, we're praying for Damar Hamlin. Yes, a lot of stuff went on. Again, people mad at the NFL. A lot of tweets. Skip Bayless said something. Not that he shouldn't have said it, just he probably said it incorrectly. He said it too soon. A lot of people were affected, such as Shannon Sharp. Again, me, a normal dude who lives in Georgia. I made a joke initially because I've seen people get knocked out in football, but you kind of it just goes over your head sometimes that people could die. So when I saw it was serious, ooh, take it back. Hope Damar's doing good, praying for him, praying for. So a lot of stuff is going on. Now, because Damar Hamlin was trending on Twitter, and I mean him and, you know, his whole fall backwards cardiac arrest thing, to basically get around the algorithm of Twitter and social media, instead of doing that, people were saying, hey, Damar Hamlin has a fundraiser for a toy drive in his hometown of McNeese Rock, Pennsylvania. I believe at the time of his, before his cardiac arrest, which I'm not trying to brush it over, I'm just saying before it happened, I believe it was at like 2,500. So, as I said, to try to get around the algorithm of all the social media Twitters, so instead of talking about his falling backwards, they started talking about his fundraiser. So his fundraiser went from 2,500 to 3 million in a day. And then the next day went to 6 million. And I think at this point we're close to like 7 million. So legitly, this man fighting for his life, who was a good man, had a good cause, had a fundraiser, toy drive. 2,500 has now $7 million. So we definitely hope he pulls through. So when he can, like, you know, function again normally, and at this point we don't even know if he's going to play football again, he can see that people do care. And $7 million, you care for $7 million. So that's actually it's nice, man. I feel a little emotional. $7 million for this toy drive. So again, said it 10 times. I'll probably say it 20 more times. We're praying for Damar Hamlin, praying for his family, and we hope whatever the outcome is, like, we hope everything's good. And again, if he survives, which we want him to survive, if he survives, if you decide to continue playing football, we support your decision. If you decide to quit football, we support that too. So get well soon, man. Praying for you. Now, still not on a positive note. Told you, we're going to talk about something a little somber. We're going to go to positive. We're going to focus on well, not negative, but, you know, we're going to continue just a little bit. Like, very little bit. Again, I'm 30, going to get married soon. Certain point, we're going to have kids. My kids. I've always been an advocate of not just my kids, obviously, but just everybody in the world. Do what you want to do, unless you want to be a librarian. That's an inside joke for myself. But do what you want to do. If you want to be president, be president. You want to be a teacher? Be a teacher. Oh, small little fact on a teacher, because I asked Alexa last night. Apparently, there's 85 million teachers in the world. That is a lot of teachers, y'all. I don't know why, but in my mind, I was thinking like 10 million. Like, I don't know why my number was just so low, but 85 million teachers in the world. Oh, good. That's it. You want to be a teacher? Be a teacher. Construction worker? Be a construction worker. You want to be a stripper? Man, be a stripper. Like, again, whatever you want to do, do you. But whenever you want to make the decision, your age will kind of determine, you know, of that factor. The reason I say that, if you want to be 22, 25 years old and be a stripper, do your thing. Man, support your life. You want to be 50 and become a dentist? It's kind of late in the game, but if you can manage it, do your thing. If you are 6 years old, you look your parents in the face and say you want to be a football player. Nowadays, your parents might say, hell to the nah. Why don't you try golf? Why don't you try swimming, even though you can drown? Why don't you try, like, chess? You know, try something a little less dangerous. But nowadays, a lot of parents are now at this point where they're like, they don't want their children to play, really sports in general, but they don't want their kids to play football. As you know, we had that big scare years ago, or I won't say big scare, big discovery. It was a big scare and a big discovery of CTE. You know, we're finding that disease in a lot of former football players, you know, their mind, making crazy and all that stuff. Again, not brushing off, just simplifying it. So a lot of people are saying they don't want their kids to play football. With the most recent situation with Hamlin, which again, let's be clear. All because he played football, we are not saying that is the 100% root cause of his heart attack. But it don't look good that when you make a tackle playing the sport, wearing the uniform, all of a sudden you got a heart attack. Again, it could be a lot of factors. Based off what I keep hearing, it was like the most minute possibility for this to happen, and it happened to this man. Like, I think they said you literally got to be hit in a certain spot in a certain way for a certain, I think, electricity, something to happen in your body for it you had to boom. So I'm just saying, like, obviously that happened, but it's like, what if he was just sumo wrestling? What if he was just wrestling with his, like, little kid or, like, his best friend? What if he was just walking, all of a sudden just felt like, I'm just saying, like, we can't say football is the reason it caused it. Like, it probably caused this specific one, But if we say football caused it, then we can say football will cause a lot of cardiac arrest. Just saying. Point is, a lot of parents are probably going to say, because of the situation with Damar Hamlin, they don't want their kids to play football. So, this is not the technical question for the comments, but feel free to talk about if you want. Did that scare you? Because I'll be honest, you just don't understand. When I saw it, I made a joke about it initially, then I pulled it back. But if my kid wants to say he wants to play football, real talk, I'll still let him play. They want to play basketball, I'll let them play. They want to, ballerina, I'll let them play. Like, it's just freak accidents, and sometimes you just can't protect your child that much. And again, I played football for a little bit. It was fun. My cousin played football, even played at college level. He enjoyed it. So it just, again, I'm not telling y'all how to raise y'all children. I'm just letting you know for me right now, again, I'm in this room by myself. Obviously, I talk to my fiance. I'm okay if my child still plays football. Now, if my fiance don't, honestly, that's like 1-to-1. So at that point, we're my dad's child, but there's going to be a conversation. But right now, I'm okay if they still play football. It was a freak accident because, again, I want to say a lot worse could happen in football, but death is the end all be all. But, being a potato, being paralyzed, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. But, yeah. So, that kind of did not help the cause of football in the world. But the money do. People are starting getting paid like over $200 guaranteed. Like $200 million guaranteed. Like, literally. 5 years, $200 million. Like, the contract may say $300, but the guarantee part is $200, meaning if something happened, you get injured, you get cut. They may not pay you the $300 million, but you guaranteed $200 million. So the money look good, but you might be a potato or have CTE or die. So yeah, Damar Hamlin, again, praying for you. What's that, am I like 16 times saying that? But for real, like, we are praying for you. And for everybody else who, like, because of this, probably don't want their kids to play football, hey, respect. Respect. So, last topic of this podcast, just because I said I did not want to end on a somber note. It's a very, very quick story. I know, again, this is very 180, but I said we went from sad to like a little bit question, but curiosity of the world of football. But now, just a very quick story. There was a man, husband, and a woman, wife. I don't know why I said it like that, but you know what I'm saying. Husband and wife. They were in Thailand. While they were driving, the wife was like, hey, I'm sleepy. I'm just going to jump in the back seat. So husband was like, cool, jump in the back seat. Drive. Nothing out of the ordinary. Husband driving, wife sleeping in the back. Husband's like, oh snap, I gotta go to the restroom. Gets out the car. He looks back at his wife. She's still sleeping in the back seat. He goes to the bathroom. He comes back to the car, gets in the car, drives. This man got 100 miles down the road. 100 miles down the road. Finally looked in his back seat. Realized his wife was not in the back seat. Oh, no. That is not the end of the story. Obviously, he had to turn around to go get his wife. We find out that the wife, while he was in the bathroom, got out the car, decided to go to the bathroom herself. So while he's in the bathroom, she walks to the bathroom, he walks out the bathroom, he gets in the car, she's still in the bathroom. He does not turn around to confirm if his wife is in the back seat, and he just drives away. So when she comes out, for some strange reason, she don't have a phone, she don't have a wallet. So she kind of just, not really stuck like Chuck, but it's just more like, you kind of stuck like Buck. So, this is kind of the question I'm going to tell you what she did, but this is the question I have in the comments. She decides, instead of just sitting there waiting for her husband to come back, she's going to walk. Apparently, this woman walked 13 miles. 13 miles in the direction of her husband. So again, when he drove back to get her, he didn't have to drive all 100. He only had to drive 87 because he had to meet her like, hey, I was coming to get you. Well, I decided to meet you halfway. Well, not halfway, but like, get in the car, man. I'm just saying, like, the question I have, if you were left at the gas station without your phone for some strange reason, in this day and age, who walks around without their phone? Who does that? My question is, again, if you were left at a gas station or in this situation, would you have walked? I would have stayed my butt there. But the other question is, how long would you have waited? So, I heard somebody say in this situation, they would have like waited for him to come back, which, again, that's what it's called. But like I said, he went 100 miles. So that's probably about like hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Just depends what you have, but hour and a half, 2 hours. One direction. He got to eventually turn around. So if he took him 2 hours to drive 100 miles, it takes him another 2 hours to drive back. So maximum in that situation, 4 hours of just sitting there waiting on your husband. And you know, whether you're a man or woman, don't matter. You know, if your significant other left you and you was sitting there waiting on them to come back, for every hour that passed, you get madder and madder and pissed. You feel so much anger. So my first question is, would you have walked like she did 13 miles or just, start walking? She's crazy going 13 miles. That's the first question. Second question, how long would you have waited if you didn't walk? So I said, 2 hours that way, 2 hours, that's 4 hours. In your mind, would you know your significant other coming back? Would you be like, all right, he'll be back. An hour passed. 2 hours passed. 4 hours passed. 10 hours passed. 15, like at a certain point, you'll be like, this person ain't coming back for me. So how long would you wait before you either one, start walking, or two, you just start feeling, this person ain't coming back for me? Obviously, knock on wood. What if they drive and then they get in a car crash? Again, when it comes to these podcasts, we ain't talking about the 100% realism because you just never know. What if the wife, instead of being left at the gas station, she got a duck? We ain't talking about that. We talking about the funny stuff. You are mad because your significant other left you. You waited there for 10 hours and he actually showed up 10 hours later. And the first question you're going to say is, how the heck you going to leave me? Second question you're going to say, what took you so long for 10 hours? I would have put out a lot of stuff you hear in the world or from Reddit or Twitter. This really ain't the worst thing in the world. Like, yeah, it's only bad because he drove 100 miles. If he drove like 10, get in the car, laugh it off, wife go sleep. 100 miles is kind of far. 100 miles is kind of far. You might get looked at a little different now. You might get looked at. So, with that, for the last time, at least last time today, or in this podcast, again, we're praying for Damar Hamlin. We pray for a speedy recovery. I'm not going to put it in the description, but obviously you can just Google Damar Hamlin's GoFundMe. I guarantee it will pop up. But if you want to donate to him, again, we're at 7 million of me recording this podcast. Again, if you want to donate just for him or you specifically care about his cause, you can go donate. I already asked the question of the day. Again, I already had a somber moment, but now we're trying to end on a good note. So I guess we went somber, good, and back. Well, that's good. We went to funny. We went somber, funny, back to somber. But it's like a positive somber. Again, if you want to donate, go donate him. And if you don't want to donate, just pray for him. I'm praying for him. We're all praying for him. Whew. So with that, that is the first podcast of 2023. As I said, it's a little sad. But again, we're doing a thing, man. We're doing a thing. Hope you enjoyed the podcast, because I know I did. My name is CedLove, and I'll see you soon. The football in this particular...